Hey there, my friends. This is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you guys some tank superiority gameplay on Operation Armored Shield on the Armored Kill DLC. So this video, including the name of the map pack and the mode and everything, and the map actually, involves a ton of armor. Tank superiority mode, pretty much almost everyone gets a tank at the beginning. And from there, you can be an infantryman, but from there you just kind of fighted it out. And basically, right at the beginning, there is a capture point in the center of the map that you need to hold, and it makes your enemy bleed tickets faster. And you can also take away their tickets by killing them, and then the first team to run out of tickets is the one that loses. So you can see my team here is going to roll right in on A. And at the beginning of these maps, if you can't tell, it is usually quite a massive armor fight pretty quickly because you have both teams just rolling forward onto this point, and you can just see that there are tanks everywhere. I am currently in a tank destroyer, and I'm on the Russian team, and I actually like this version better than the American one because it has the treads rather than wheels, which means you can turn without having to move, and that's just something I like about that. And obviously, you run engineer to repair your vehicles, or you can run sniper and throw down a SOFLAM. That actually really helps quite a bit, especially for the people running guided shell, which can help at long range, and that there was a pretty long range shot. So, tank superiority mode. Do I like it? What is it? Well, I kind of just explained what it is. At the beginning, it is extremely fun. The first wave, very, very fun. Right when all the tanks hit. It's a good mode. It works really pretty well on Operation Armored Shield and Bandar Desert, that's the other one. The other two maps just have too many hills. Death Valley's okay. Death Valley's actually fine. It's really only Albor's Mountain that isn't really good for this mode because your tanks slide everywhere. They don't have traction. Just the way the vehicles work in this game, those of you who have played it on any system have probably noticed that you slide like a madman when you're on a hill in a tank and such. You just go skidding down the side, so that's why I don't really recommend it for that map. But, overall, this was an interesting addition to the game. Definitely not something that I would have thought to add. And so far, I mean, I like the game mode. If you just love vehicles, this is definitely the game mode for you. The only downsides are you can't spawn on your squad mates. And that means that you wait at spawn, and the vehicles don't respawn instantly. Now, on PC, I'm pretty sure they probably have made some servers where they do. But pretty much, if you don't have a tank, you're in trouble most of the time. I mean, it is tank superiority mode, and so you'll blow up, and you have to wait like a minute for another tank. And sometimes, depending on the match, they can be really slow-paced. This map I find to be the best for this game mode. It seems like there's always quite a bit of action. Also, a lot of times, it's very difficult to take the flag. The first team to take it is usually the one that holds it, considering once you take it, if anyone rolls in there, you get blown up from the sides. So really, it's whoever controls the sides of the maps that wins and such. And, you could be an infantryman and take the flags, kind of be stealthy and slightly more hidden since you're a smaller target. But if someone does see you, you're pretty much dead. So it's interesting. It might be interesting to add maybe 2 or 3 flags, make it kind of like Conquest. Not spread them out, though, that just put them along the middle so that, say you take the center flag, well, you also have to hold the flank flags and all that stuff. So, that's just the one thing I would maybe like to see if they add anything. I find that would be interesting. But this game mode, it's fun at first, and now it's kind of, for me at least, waned off a little bit, the excitement. This is because after a while, it, for me at least, does get redundant. You know, if this pops up in a server I'm playing on, though, I don't mind as long as it's not Albor's Mountain. But overall, you know, it just does get a bit repetitive, and a lot of times you're not actually getting the kills either. You get a lot of assists, and that is because, you know, say you're shooting at a tank, you'll fire off 4 rounds into it, it's almost dead, and most people don't get out of their tanks in this. And then one of your buddies will roll up because everyone has tanks, take the final shot. So a lot of times, you know, you aren't going to get the kills for all the battles that you are in. And also, what is that there? Something was shooting me. It felt like a guy, and look at that. It is an EOD bot. Sorry to sidetrack, but I found that rather funny. And pretty interesting tactic, actually. Destroying tanks with an EOD bot. I saw in the kill feed that guy actually did get a few kills with that thing, so maybe that's something you all will see. And right in here, my map is glitched. If you can't see my mini-map, you will notice that pretty much it does not show the out of bounds on it, so I had no clue where I could and couldn't go. And right there, I did jump out of my tank and destroyed the other one. But back to what I was saying, this game mode, I mean, if you like constant tank combat, then it is fun. If not, it can get redundant, and I really would only play this game mode with a friend. And right now I am actually playing with the guy in my tank with me, running the CTV station so I can use my guided shell. And look at that tank's gonna roll over me, and Mike's gonna call me back. He's like, hey, go blow up that tank you just flipped over. And I did, in fact, by accident, manage to completely flip that tank upside down. So we're gonna fire a round into it, get it disabled so that it blows up, because it's really no use to our team upside down, and it would be better if it is blown up so it can respawn. But like I said, there's really not a whole lot of strategy that can actually go into this game type unless you have some friends. Otherwise, there's not a lot of coordination. And, you know, in Rush, sometimes when you don't have people, you know, there's an obvious thing to do, which is go for the bomb, take different routes, and that kind of stuff. There can be teamwork without actually talking to someone else in the game. In this, it seems that a lot of times tanks just roll everywhere, and a lot of times too, people ignore the center point. They're just going around blowing up other tanks because no one wants to go on that center point, because if you do, most of the time, you're going to blow up. And right here, this is a little bit later on. This actually is another quite long clip, another good life. And on this, the other team, I don't know if they were coordinating or not, but you'll notice that like 6 or 7 tank destroyers end up pushing the right flank, and it's just Mike and I in R2 to try to stop them. And we're actually going to do it, and it's actually going to also display what I was saying earlier. A lot of times I disable, and you know, it doesn't matter because Mike's my friend and such, but I'll disable like 4 or 5 of the tanks, and he'll fire off the final round, get the kill, and then I did that once or twice to him. So it's just, you know, if you're one of the people who likes to get a ton of kills, oftentimes this is not gonna happen in this game mode. It's not like, say, for example, on a different map where there's a ton of infantry and you have the tank, so you're getting a ton of kills. You have a tank or a tank destroyer. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna succeed, though, because everyone has a tank. And on the left, I don't know if you guys can notice it or not, but there's actually a laser back there. They had a SOFLAM up, and it was definitely being very annoying. That guy's flying across back there. A lot of long-range combat. I haven't tried it, maybe would equip zoom optics, because a lot of these tanks are fighting far away. That's why there's, once again, not really much place for infantry, unless you're running a sniper kit, recon, have a SOFLAM, or if maybe you had a javelin, you could lock on from far away. Because otherwise, it's pretty long-range combat. There's a few times where it gets close, but you know, you don't want to roll across an open field at the enemy tank, so you're going to shell them from far away. And right here I get disabled. Couldn't actually see who got me. So I'm going to go ahead and repair. But this, guys, is just a look at the game mode for you. I highly encourage you to try it out if you haven't and you own the DLC. I can't tell you how it is on consoles, considering I'm playing on PC, and I believe this is a 32-person server. So I'm not sure. I believe consoles have 24 people in a match, but I don't see any reason why this would be slow on consoles like some of the Conquest games are. So, you know, leave a comment, tell me how the console is, and whether it's PS3 or Xbox. They're pretty much the same. I know that, aside from, I believe PS3 has a little bit of input lag. I don't know if they fixed that or not. I actually used to play on Xbox, and that was never a problem for me there. And this is one of the moments where it's slightly more close range, and Mike is going to blow up my opponent there. And over here, there's quite a few tanks rolling in. Mike's just going right at him. Look at that. Just charging in. Get to disable. And once again, Mike blows up the tank. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not like their fault or anything, but it's just a bunch of times you just don't end up getting the finishing kill there. And you can see there's just tank after tank after tank coming in. I'm calling them all tanks, but they, for the most part, are tank destroyers. And once again there, Mike's going to get that one. So that's pretty much how this battle went. We have to stay behind the rock due to the SOFLAM over there. Keep our heads down so hopefully we don't get locked on and blow up. And that there was some pretty terrible driving. And as I roll forward here, there's a sniper or someone with a high optic scope. And I can't hit him, get a hit marker, but he's hiding in the ditch. That doesn't matter though, because that poor guy might not have completely understood that explosives have splash damage. Although, granted, he was definitely safer down there than trying to run away. There really was nowhere for him to go. Once again, showing that on these maps, the only map, like I said, that infantry is really valid has to be, I would say, Alborz Mountain, just because the tanks have a really hard time moving around on that map. And here I just get overwhelmed because Mike is down. Gonna fire off an RPG, kill that tank, but there is tons of guys there, and that's gonna be the end of that life. And then this here was a really short one, rolling forward in my tank and killing one or two guys. I'm in with Mike actually on the gun, and I'm gonna get out and try to sneak forward and take the objective, which they actually had some infantry sneak in, like I said was probably the main use for infantry on this map, and take it, because you look, they planted a ton of tank mines down there. Not that hard to get rid of, but they definitely are a problem when other tanks are shooting at you to waste time firing at them. So it makes it hard for our tanks to get in there, and if you do something like that, it just takes up time. And there was a guy laying down next to the rock that I didn't see. But this here is going to be the end of the game. I'm going to roll forward after spawning, and one thing I want you guys to note, I cut out the deaths, obviously, so, you know, that's why it went from tank to tank to tank in the video. There's about a minute to, at 1.4 minutes between each spawn. This game was a lot longer than you are seeing here, so, you know, you're sitting there waiting for a tank for a long time. The one time I ran forward as infantry because I didn't want to wait, got blown up immediately. It's just so wide open. So that's the one thing. Vehicle time needs to be increased, the respawn time. But otherwise, guys, go try it out. I liked it, and hopefully you guys will too. Thank you for watching.